What about your red box there? Does it have to be?
No, it's good.
Okay.
It's just like that. Okay, ready? All right, welcome to WhlPatscast, the unofficial Regina Pats podcast. We are a proud member of the Saskatchewan Podcast Network. I'm Matt.
I'm Chris.
And this is our episode for December the 29th, 2019. Okay, we got a couple games to go through. A home and home with Moose Jaw. Actually ended up being... You called this, actually. Going into this weekend. This was your bold prediction going into the weekend. You said we were going to sweep Moose Jaw, and we certainly did that. I don't know what you want to talk. We can talk about these games individually a little bit, but ultimately, we said this coming into this weekend. It could be an opportunity for this team, the Pats, that is, just going in a different direction than it seems like Moose Jaw is. What did you say, Moose Jaw in their last 9 or 10 or?
They're 1-10, I think, in the last 11.
1-10 their last 11.
Yeah, they're really hurting.
The Pats, like we discussed lately, was they're on the kind of coming on a bit of an upswing here. So coming into this, it's nice. They get the break. They've been playing well. In December, had a little bit of break to get home, maybe get healthy, kind of get some more energy. The same could have been said for Moose Jaw. They had a break too, but we played some of the better games that I've seen. I think, that being said, I texted you yesterday and said Moose Jaw is not good. Boy, they were struggling these last. Evanoff did not look good. He had some nice single saves, but in a if you're looking at the total of the two games, he did not fare very well. Looking at these two games, some of the things that really stood out to me were some of the younger guys playing really well. Particularly this Dubinsky, Englot, and Smith line looked really good, and I really want to shout out to Drew Englot. He not struggled earlier in the season, you just didn't see him very much, but these last few games, he's been working so hard. He's been on power play, I've been noticing, and getting a little bit out of order here, but particularly last night, the game at home, there was one point where he was on a penalty kill, and he got it down deep in Moose Jaw's end, held it there, and eventually set up a goal. And he didn't get the goal or even an assist out of it, I don't think, but he was down there busting his ass off and really set up a goal, which was awesome. And I think he even he played a part in that shorty we got in Moose Jaw. I forget, but regardless, his play over the last few games has been exceptional. Dubinsky as well.
Yeah, I thought he really stood out, especially later in the game, even before the score was out of hand. Like, they had quite a few scoring chances. He did set up one goal in the Friday night game.
Dubinsky?
Yeah.
Yes, a beautiful goal. Nice
one. Yeah.
And these two games, Moose Jaw did not look good, but Regina was able to take advantage of sort of Moose Jaw's bad play, I think.
Yeah.
And Moose Jaw was chasing the puck and just did not look very good. But we were able to take advantage of that and have some really nice puck movement, transitions out of our zone entries, puck movement in the zone, and that's Cole's goal. I think it was a wide open net, and this was on the Friday game. Like, it was,
he just set him up kind of backdoor.
Like goals we haven't really seen this year. Usually we're kind of used to the garbage goals and stuff. Chat's working. Awesome. So there we go. We got Clark. Every time I look, it seems like the Pats have 30 forwards. How's their top 9 going to shape up? We can get into that, Clark. Thanks for the message. We will talk a little bit about their roster here in the second half of the show here. Yeah, I don't know. It was nice to watch these games. It was fun again. We were talking last week how with Kevin it didn't seem like we were having fun at the rink, but watching that game Friday was a lot of fun, and then this game, it goes back to what we were saying. Winning is fun, and they were fun games.
Yeah, and I wasn't at the Saturday night game. I had an event to go to, but I watched the game this morning. But you commented saying it was one of the best.
Yes, the crowd too. I don't know.
It was 49. It said
49, and it was the full. And the buddy you gave your tickets to said that too. He said this looks pretty full. I thought too during the anthem. I was thinking this is probably the fullest it's been.
Yeah, in a long time.
And good atmosphere when Evanoff did have that save.
Oh yeah,
that was a good save. I mean, he has little flashes of brilliance, but like you could just hear the rise in energy, and then the big it's so nice to be in a rink with that energy again and that atmosphere. Yeah, it was awesome. It was a lot of fun. The team in the post game interview, they were talking about it was just a full 60 by the whole team. Like you could really recognize. We'll miss guys, but I mean. Riker Evans had an awesome game. He's on a good path.
Yeah, you could tell he's more offensive D-man like even last year, but now it's kind of coming out, right? He's got that year under his belt. He's shooting the puck more.
Yep.
He's scoring. He's already surpassed his points from last year, so.
Yes. So I don't know who Dumbass Son is, but we do use Restream.io to do our chat, so I don't know who that is, but we might get some weird followers from Twitter. But anyways,
there's another comment.
What was your favorite goal last night? Oh,
it has to be the Cole one. He knocked it out of the air.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's like I'm just happy to be winning and having fun. It's awesome. Cole's goal. Actually, you know what? I'm going to say Denomy's goal was my favorite.
The first one?
Yeah, out of the right out of the box. There was one point he did I think it was before he scored. He did this like lap around the offensive zone, and I said to your buddy, he wants to score in this game because this is his former team. And
I think he's even chirping the bench a bit.
Was he? Yeah.
As he went to the bench.
Yeah.
So Dumbass Son there says Logan's was nice as well.
Okay.
That was
absolutely.
a good goal. He bustled the guy before getting the puck. He like knocked him down.
Yeah.
And took the puck and then made a really nice move. So that. Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough pick. There was actually some nice goals this game, like you said.
And that's a nice problem to have. So that's a good question. Which goal is our favorite? Because usually there's not too many to choose from.
Yeah.
No, it was just awesome. That dude from Moose Jaw with his dumb drum was there.
Oh, really?
And we didn't have to hear it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was there in the corner. So
I wasn't drumming very much?
No. I think he drummed at the start of the periods, and that was about it. Because, there wasn't much to drum for.
No.
Yeah, it was fun. But you know what? That being said, Moose Jaw does bring a bus down, and I think that did help with a little bit with that atmosphere and the attendance. So as much as we rag on them, they do travel well, and it helped fill that rink a little bit up, which was nice. That being said, I was, going into there was some rough stuff there in the Moose Jaw game that hit on Stanek. No call on it. I felt like it was a little bit of an elbow to the chops.
That's what it looked like, but there's no supplemental discipline, so I guess not.
So they didn't agree with that, but I did expect a little bit.
He was leaking.
Yeah, he was pretty rattled. I hope he's doing okay. That's
a hard one.
Yeah, and I never hope for someone else to get injured, but I would have thought there would have been a little bit of carryover
tonight or last
from
night.
That into and that was their captain, right? Like that was a big grown man versus a little young kid.
Guy. Yeah.
So, but then props for Dubinsky, just in there like a dirty shirt, like he usually is.
Well, it's kind of Dubinsky's fault. He gave him that. Not it's not his fault per se, but he made that pass. And
it was a little.
Stanek had his head down, and that's what happens, and it sucks. But yeah. Well, we might get into that a little bit later too. Those hits.
Yeah, it was a great great couple games.
Yeah.
I don't. It was just fun.
It was
fun
nice
to
because sometimes those games coming out of the break can be kind of ugly, but I thought we played.
I was watching the broadcast on Friday. Phil specifically said that. He said, this looks a little rusty. These guys coming in. So,
and I think maybe they shut it down a bit in the third, and with the 4-0 lead, and kind of let Moose Jaw back in a bit.
Maybe.
But I mean, it was nice to see. Saturday night's game, they really clamped down. They got the early goal by Whitnick, and they just kind of kept rolling after that, right? They get that early goal. It's 2-0, and then they get
Whitting.
I know. I don't know why I keep saying that.
Yeah, that's okay.
I said that last.
Yeah,
I keep looking at his name and Whitting. And then they got the two quick ones later, that 4-0, and then it was over.
Even last night, I had that tweet. Start the bus.
Oh my God, that was
and after the fourth goal, I was like, I don't know. I mean, we're still the Pats. They can break my heart here. I know they can. So I waited till the fifth goal. I'm still not that confident yet. I was getting a little concerned that I didn't bring my hat trick hat. Right, I didn't bring that at all last year, and I was worried that maybe I might miss an opportunity. But no, it's fun. It's fun to win. I can't deny that. And we'll get into a little bit of where the team's going here after we do a bit of the pay the bills, so to speak. But the trivia I have for this week is so watching that Moose Jaw game, their goal horn is probably one of the worst I've ever heard.
That's pretty annoying.
It's
so high pitched,
horrible.
So lighting. You're watching that game. It's so dark. Like, who's that player? My girlfriend just asked me. I don't know. I can't see the numbers. Like, it's so terrible. And actually watching the Pats game through WHL live, it's so much better.
But just listening to their horn got me thinking, where did the horn originate? So I'll just let you ponder that, because you think of that question, I have a few other questions for you. So the Saskatchewan Podcast Network is supported by Connexus. What if your bank was committed to working with you to achieve your goals? What if they cared enough to get to know you? What if they weren't successful unless you were? What if your financial well-being drove everything they did? Come see why things are different at Connexus. Stop by any branch to learn more about how Connexus cares. So the goal horn, okay, where do you think it originated? And then this is NHL. It started off in hockey. Other sports have now kind of grabbed onto it and use it.
Where did it start?
Yeah.
I'll say Montreal.
It's close. So 1973 playoffs between Chicago and Montreal.
Chicago is going to be my other pick.
Yeah,
I was debating those.
Because theirs is pretty legendary.
Yes.
So the owner liked the sound of the horn on his yacht. So even back then, they were yacht owners. So he wanted it for a goal horn. So that started that whole tradition. Then I kind of started reading a little bit more about goal horns, and they have a little bit of a local flair in some cases. So the Winnipeg Jets is actually from the Jets 1.0. They kept it, and it's from a train. Edmonton's is a truck horn, or a series of truck horns. Kind of, they said it's an homage to the kind of blue collar.
Oh, okay, yeah, working class.
Ottawa's is one from a via rail train. Vancouver's is a ferry horn, and the Toronto Maple Leafs use the same as that's found on Canadian Navy ships. So it's been kind of picked up by other. They say, like in the NFL now, they put it on usually third downs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But anyways, just that horn, I was like, fuck, I hate that thing. I started thinking, where do those things start, these goal horns? And so it's kind of a hockey thing getting picked up by other, even the Blue Jays.
Yeah, when you hit a home run.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but now we still have to figure out, so hockey has goal horns, but we also have the goal songs. We still have to kind of get to the bottom of that one. Sometime in a scrum, just drop that question.
Yeah, I will.
I want to know if that's a team picked
player thing, or a player or a team,
or how that came to be, because I still question it every time it comes up. So you have so we're gonna get into, like we said, kind of where a little bit of Pat's projections here. Again, it's this Christmas break is just a natural
midpoint,
and you have an interview there with Dave Strush.
Yeah, this is just the pre-game interview from Friday night's game. So kind of just looking back at the first half and looking ahead to the second half.
Yeah.
So if you didn't catch the pre-game, here it is.
The glaring thing is the 1-10 start, but I think this team's taken some steps. Maybe how would you evaluate the first 30 games?
Lots of improvement and development. I think that was a big part of it, not only in the individuals that are here, but in the team itself. I mean, if you look back at our lineup, I know we just talked about it, our lineup at the start of the year in the first 10, 12, 15 games compared to what it is right now. I mean, it's been a big change, and our young guys have developed. They play lots, which is really good. We did it through the process. We talked about how we were going to do things. We've stuck to it, and we've gotten better doing it that way. We hope we can use what we grew in the first half to start the second half.
There was growth in all areas, wasn't it? I mean, you had some guys like, Zach Whitting, Carson Denemy, Carter Chorney, but I mean, defensively better. Max getting healthy, obviously part of that. Power play's taking a step. You're scoring more. I mean, it's all facets, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's stuff that we looked at the end of last year, things that we wanted to get better at. We've taken less penalties. We've had games where we've taken a lot of penalties, but we're taking less penalties. We're playing better without the puck. Shelf the first 12 games, 15 games. Max has been fantastic. He gives us a chance every night. We've talked about our lack of scoring ability, but we do talk about our opportunities to create offense. So those things have all gotten better, and it gives us a chance every night. And you see it with the amount of games that we're in, and we hope we can get beyond that in the second half and win more than lose.
Get Jan Seacart, a 17-year-old Czech forward from Tri-City. What do you know about him and what he's going to bring? I know not in the lineup tonight, but what is he going to bring?
No, we don't know a whole bunch other than what I've seen at different international events. He's going to be a skilled guy. He's a big guy. He skates. He's got good hands. How he plays without the puck, we won't know till we see him here and learn our system, our game. But he's going to get a great opportunity. A young kid. We had the vacant spot, so we were in a great position to make the move, and hopefully he can add a little bit of offense and learn our game and add to the depth.
So he spoke to my next point here was Jan Seacart coming in, 17-year-old Czech out of TC. So we only gave up a conditional 4th round 2022 pick for him. Conditional again.
I'm thinking that's probably if he plays with us next year.
I think you're right. Yeah.
This is probably just a tryout because we got an open spot. We're probably going to have another high pick, and
like Clark alluded to, we have a lot of forwards, but we've had some injuries here lately. I think this is a well-timed thing. We don't know how long, I guess, Stanek will be out.
Yeah, and this kind of takes Massier's spot.
Yeah, exactly.
He's done for the year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I think it's a tryout, and if he works out well, I don't see them passing on the pick next year. Like we're looking, I think we're out of the. I'm gonna say we're out of the basement. We're out of the lottery pick. So I think we're 4th worst now. So, but right. I mean that's still a top. It's like a top 12 pick, whereas last year we had 8th or 9th overall. So it's still going to be a good pick. So they'll try him out here for this second half of the season and see how it goes.
Yeah, and as the season gets longer and we're playing these younger guys, you might start to see them start to get banged up a little bit. You look at stats from their midget days and whatnot, and they only play 20-some games?
Yeah, sometimes 20, 30 games. A couple tournaments in there that maybe don't count to the regular season stats.
Okay, so now you're getting into 50, 60-some games. They might need some
and a higher level too, right?
Right, that too. And let's look at the Pats here. You just alluded to it. We're not a basement team anymore, and you're totally right in this. So we did a bit of looking back. So right now, in the past 13, they're 7-4-1-1, right? In the past 10 games, they have the 4th best record in the Eastern Conference. They're behind Winnipeg, Edmonton, and Medicine Hat. Now, I don't want to get excited here, but really, if they keep playing at that pace, if I look back at last year, I would guess you need about 70 points to get into the playoffs. Get that last wild card spot.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. We're only at
tough.
24.
It's tough, but to do that, you need 23 wins in the next 36 games.
Oof.
Which is a lot, but that's a point, well, like a 633
win percentage.
Yeah, which is what they're playing at right now.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough to carry that through.
It's gonna be really tough.
That's a snapshot, right? Obviously,
it is,
because we're at a 375 win percentage right now for the whole season. But like you said, like you alluded to, those first 10, 11 games, throw them out, and we've been playing much better since.
Exactly, and in the last little while, we're playing at that pace. Now, the big problems come in the next
10th.
couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got a couple of things. We got 2 tough stretches. We got a 5-7, and then a 6-10. This first stretch in January, and then you have the trade deadline, which Scott alluded to. I think we now 2 teams that could use a goaltender. You have Kelowna, who needs something if they're going into the Memorial Cup. And they've had a struggle. I don't know, 2 games enough to decide that you're bailing on your goaltender? I don't know. And Edmonton is now in need of a goaltender.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like he had what's the guy who left? I can't remember his name offhand, but Kosa had taken the starter's role. So, and I think he left because he didn't want to be the backup. But now he's only 17, so he's kind of unproven yet. So, and Edmonton's quietly, are they first overall?
They are 55 points.
Yeah, they are. So Edmonton's quietly first overall.
Yeah,
in the whole league. We're kind of alluding to that. There's no kind of standout team this year.
Not like there has been
the last couple of years,
where you have a team that's like just
PA
rolling.
So, I mean, it's wide open. So there's lots of teams that think they can, make a run in the playoffs. Like, it's not like it was last year where the East was going to be dominated by PA. So, Edmonton's probably going to be looking. Yeah, now is Max Paddock that guy for either of those teams? I mean, his numbers say that he's been much better. His last 11 games is 6-3-1-1, and that goes along with the team's record. Like, the team's been playing well. So those last 11 games started in Swift Current, then the Alberta road trip, and then back here. Yeah. He's got a .936 save percentage and a .244 goals against. Now that's like top tier goaltending there.
Yep.
And we seen that last year where he struggled in the first half, and he really did much better in the second half. I don't know what his stats were in the second half, but it was clearly, and the team played a little bit better as well.
And he's got Memorial Cup experience. He's been on the stage.
Yeah. He doesn't have any deep playoff experience, but he does have the Memorial Cup experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and we said this last episode, it'll depend on what they do. If they can get a buyer, which now it seems maybe some teams might be.
That's the thing. Maybe a couple more teams will drive that value up, right?
Yeah.
You go one team, this team's giving me this. What are you going to offer me, right?
Yeah.
You can kind of work that if there's a couple teams that are interested.
Yeah, so I don't know if they're allowed to say.
No, but you can be like.
But the other teams know
there's multiple.
Yeah, it's not just one now.
Yeah. So that works in our favor.
Yeah, and we're just speaking a little bit to the parity of the WHL this year. You look at the West, nobody's out of it yet, really. You're looking at, PG's down at the bottom, but they're only 7 points out.
Yeah, out of the playoffs.
Out of the last wild card spot.
And that's Tri-City, who's selling right now.
They seem to be.
A couple guys.
Yeah,
so.
They're moving people.
You look at Tri-City's record 1-7, and they're 1-7-2 in their past 10.
Yeah.
So they're really struggling.
Yeah. So the game's coming up. We have that. The first little stint here is not as bad. It's a 5-7, but the teams aren't. You have PA. So Monday's Brandon.
In Brandon.
Yeah. A team.
Yeah, hit or miss.
We can win one. We can lose one with them.
Yeah.
PA. PA. They just got swept by Saskatoon. They're not maybe where they were. Well, they're not where they were last year for sure. And that's at home. You never know.
Yeah, that's the New Year's Day game. So.
Yeah, and then a home and Swift Current. You could win those two,
and then you see
Brandon again, right? Yeah. Other than the amount of games and the time frame, I think a lot of those games are doable.
At least the 3-3 there. It's at Swift, home to Brandon. So we're not traveling that Saturday night.
Not a lot of miles, yeah.
No, so that's not bad. So I'd like to see 3 wins at least.
Out of those
6. Yeah, at least. At least
so. That's doable.
I mean, Swift Current, you can do 2 right there, and then you split the Brandon, and then say you lose to PA.
Yeah.
Like if you go 3-3 in this, or 3 maybe plus an overtime loss or something, I'd be more than happy with 3. 4 could be doable. It'd be tough, but
yeah. And then you got PG rolling in, and then
Wednesday,
getting ahead of ourselves a little bit to that American road trip. Now you're playing some playoff teams here. So you have TC, who's still in a playoff spot, Everett, Portland, Seattle, and Spokane. Seattle is, I think they're on the outside right now, but so that's 4 out of 5 teams that are playoff teams right now. That'll be determined where the season goes.
And not only that, it's going to be right after the deadline, so you know there's going to be a different looking team.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows what the team's going to look like, and maybe jumping on the bus right away isn't the best idea to have that road trip right on the 11th, but it's not bad to have a road trip with some new guys. The team bonds right away. You will bond right away because you're together for over a week on the bus. So
that's true.
And we've seen how that Alberta road trip went. That was kind of almost the turning point of the season.
You're right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it has been.
I mean, they didn't pick up a ton of wins, but they played a lot better. It seemed to really invigorate these last few games where we've been playing good.
Absolutely.
Up to the break.
Now, we've been talking about Paddock being moved, but I think there might be some other guys maybe kind of building their value too.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that last episode.
Ty Cole, I think, has shown quite a bit lately.
Yeah, Holmes with some more goals.
Yeah. And then Pratt's course.
Been consistent. And even Whitting, like 20-year-old D-man, he's, he looks solid out there. He had that nice wraparound goal. Again, another nice goal on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see. I don't know.
Hopefully we can get some value for these guys.
20-year-olds are a little bit harder to move typically,
definitely.
But they've certainly shown. Now, but you might start to see some other teams selling off too here. I think Moose Shaw's got to start thinking about that.
Yeah, they're really struggling. Like, do you move a Braden Tracy at an 18-year-old as an 18?
That's what I was thinking too. I was looking through their roster and thinking who they could. I don't know. It depends what you can get.
Yeah.
If you can get enough
for him, because he's at least another year.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to make the NHL next year. I would.
No.
Like he looked.
But what are you going to do with him next year too?
Yeah, I know. Moose Jaw's going to be really struggling next year.
Yeah, that sucks for them.
Yeah, too bad. Shed a tear for them.
Yeah, not so much. Yeah, it'll be an interesting deadline. We'll see. It'll be. It's kind of neat to see what'll happen. Pats are. I mean, it's a long shot, obviously, but now you're starting to get some wins. Depends how you're looking at it. You're looking at it as now we're building their trade values, or it's tough. Tough decisions coming up.
Yeah, and
as a fan, it kind of sucks too, because now we're actually starting to win some games and have some fun.
Yeah, exactly. And the team's kind of rolling now, and then you're gonna have to sell some of these guys, unfortunately, because there's no point in keeping them.
Not really. No, I mean, for them to even get into the playoffs is a long shot. It's too bad.
Yeah.
It's too bad. It's been.
You got to restock the cupboard, maybe get some younger guys in, stuff like that.
And maybe, like these past few games, those young guys have been playing so well. Like the Dubinsky, Englot, Smith line. If you move them up from third or fourth to second, if they're there at that point, like that'd be awesome to get to see them, and maybe they play well. I don't know.
Yeah, and maybe you can pick up like another Sloan Stanek style player, right?
Yeah.
We traded Holmes last year, and then got him back. He did that whole
It'd
trade
be nice,
tree.
We've been kind of sitting here reminiscing about some of those guys that we did trade away the last couple of years. You see them on other teams succeeding and thinking, so maybe we can get that in return and be on the other side of those moves.
Yeah.
I did want to talk. So we talked about Stanek getting hit and kind of that, just the discretion in size and age, and sometimes how that plays out. We have to talk about that Matt Savoy hit last night. I think we all agree it was clean. It was a devastating hit. I don't know how rough. He's doing. I hope he's doing well. He did not look good after that. And when we talked to Brendan from Draft Geeks, we talked a little bit about this, about sometimes that decision from Hockey Canada isn't always about skill.
Yeah.
It's about the player safety in a sense.
Yeah, not physicality, but the physical maturity discrepancy between these players.
Yeah. So anyone hasn't seen it, Matt Savoy came across the offensive zone with his head down and got buried.
Yeah, absolutely got lit up, unfortunately. And he was out. He was out on the ice.
It's not a very pretty sight.
So we won't retweet it or anything, but if you want to see it, you can find it. It's not hard to find.
And it's not pretty. And to be frank, Matt Savoy hasn't been tearing it up this year. What was his stats you found? They were
it was 5 assists, right?
5 assists in how many games? Like
12 games it was?
Yeah. 12 games, 5 assists.
So, you kind of look back, but now if he was playing full time or whatever, if they decided to give him special status, would it be different?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is he practicing with the team every day, or is he still playing with his other team, practicing with his other team? Right? Who knows? But you look at a guy who did get exceptional status, Shane Wright in OHL. Now, he was just in the news the other day because he was just named assistant captain as a 15-year-old, which is quite impressive. And you don't know what goes on in the dressing room and how vocal he is as a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
But his talking has been done on the ice. Like, he has 17 goals and 13 assists in 29 games.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, he's playing full-time, obviously.
Yeah.
And he's making a difference. Like, he'd be our leading goal scorer on our team if he was playing with us.
Right.
And
yeah.
he's 15, so.
And we talked about, just it's not always about getting the exposure and the skill of the player. It is a little bit about their safety, and as well as a 15-year-old possibly being away from home. Like, if he was in Prince George or something like that. Yeah. So I don't know. It just goes back. It just reminded me of that conversation. I really hope Matt isn't severely injured from this. It was sad to see. Really.
Yeah, it was very unfortunate.
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about today?
No, I don't think so. I thought it was going to be a quick show, but
there's always stuff to talk about.
I know. There is.
There's always stuff. So just a shout out. I'm repping the old school Seahawks. A little bit of homage to Beast Mode coming back.
Right.
This was the Beast Quake style jersey. This is Hasselbeck's, but that's
right You can't. There's lots of Seahawk bandwagon fans.
Yeah.
But if you're repping a Hasselbeck jersey,
I was repping Seahawks when they had.
No, I know you.
Charlie Whitehurst.
I know you were.
Clipboard Jesus. Oh, there were some rough years. There were some rough years there. Yep.
Literally the most expensive clipboard.
No, that's Matt Flynn.
Oh, Flynn was.
Matt Flynn, they picked up very Matt Hasselbeck, or not Matt Flynn, is it?
Yeah, I think
Flynn was his name. Hasselbeck-ish. He was the backup in Green Bay.
Oh, then he signed a big deal.
Yeah. He played like a few games because Rodgers was hurt. Signed a monster deal with the Seahawks.
But I just remember
the same year they drafted Wilson.
Oh, okay.
Wilson came in, beat him, take a hike, punt. And he's...
I just remember seeing like Charlie Whitehurst's stats. It was like how much money he made and how many actual starts he made.
Oh, Whitehurst too? Yeah.
Like he'd made millions and he did fucking nothing. Like he played no games.
So did Matt Flynn. I don't think Matt Flynn played a game either.
Yeah.
So they, and So yeah, big game tonight for the Seahawks. I'm not holding my breath on a beast mode return. It's guy's been sitting around smoking dope and eating
Skittles,
KFC, yeah,
whatever it was,
for Taco Bell for a year. I don't. Everyone's like, oh, it's the second coming of the Messiah. I'm not holding. I'd love, but yeah, they're playing 49ers unfortunately, and they're pretty good.
Yeah, should be a good game though.
It should be, yeah. It got flexed to Sunday night, so
yeah,
nice to record.
Well, I know I watched the hockey game this morning because I was out last night.
Yeah,
but I watched the football game, and like this is going off topic, but that game last night, Clemson and Ohio State, we knew it was going to be a barn burner, and it was. It came right down to basically the final play.
Yeah, that was a good one.
A hell of a game.
I would have. You said you picked Clemson. I would have thought Ohio State. Just watching Justin Fields this season, he's
but he was a little limited with the knee injury and stuff, so.
Right.
But
that was an awesome game.
It was outstanding. That first game though, LSU Oklahoma.
I didn't see much of that one.
I knew it was going to be an LSU win, but when you put up half a hundo in the first half, you know it's bad.
Yeah, that was. I mean, a 60-point, like that's insane in a bowl game.
I know
that should be
not only just a bowl game because there's some discrepancy between teams. This is a playoff game, so it's 1 versus 4. Like there's that much discrepancy between the 4th place team.
Yeah.
I mean, if Oregon would have got in, would we have done any better? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, our defense is better. Big 12 defenses are fucking trash, and Oklahoma's is like, they got a better defense this year. Well, it still didn't look good at all. So, but
and
topic, but
and then anyone who should watch unfortunately it's right at the same time as the Pats game is the Rose Bowl, the granddaddy of them all.
That'll be a good game. Wisconsin,
That'll be really good. It'll be really good. Yeah, so looking forward to that. So go Ducks, go Seahawks, go Pats. Let's see what happens over the next week. Could be a little bit of a different team.
Yeah, see what happens. We'll talk to you guys next weekend with a different team, possibly.
Absolutely. Okay, thanks for everyone for interacting. That was awesome. I don't know if it stopped working or if you guys just tuned out, which is totally fine too. But thanks for the comments. Those are really good. And we'll see you guys later. Bye.